On November 3rd of 1957, less than a month after the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1 and the Cold War space race began, Sputnik 2 took off. Aboard that 1,120-pound ship was a 3-year-old, 13-pound stray dog named Laika, making her the first living creature ever launched into orbit. In the space race, the US looked primarily toward apes as space test subjects. The Soviets, however, turned their attention to dogs, possibly as a result of Pavlov's experiments with canines. Strays were also prevalent in the streets of the Soviet Union. They were, quote, easy to find and unlikely to be missed. Soviet canine recruiters picked several female stray dogs off of the streets. Female dogs were allegedly smarter, more docile, and more accepting of smaller spaces. They tested the strays for obedience and passivity, observed their reactions to loud noises and air pressure changes, and the finalists were left in small pressurized capsules for up to weeks at a time. Kudryavka, meaning Little Curly, from Moscow was chosen for the mission, with Albina, meaning white, as a backup option. When Kudryavka was introduced over radio to the public, she barked, and then became affectionately called Laika, meaning barker, in Russian. Some accounts claimed that Albina actually outperformed Laika, but had won her keeper's affection, so she was not chosen to embark on the dangerous mission. Both dogs underwent a surgical procedure where doctors embedded devices in their bodies to monitor their heart and breath rate, their blood pressure, and their movements. 3 days before liftoff, Laika was cleaned, fitted with a sanitation device, placed in a small ship capsule that only allowed for a few inches of movement, and given a spacesuit with built-in metal restraints. The ship lifted off at 5:30 a.m. on November 3rd and reached G-forces up to 5 times that of normal gravity levels. The noise and high pressure terrified Laika. Her heartbeat allegedly tripled and breath rate quadrupled as she rocketed 2,000 miles above the streets she knew. She reached orbit and began circling Earth. Engineers had planned Sputnik 2 hastily and often worked without blueprints in order to have it ready for liftoff by the 40th anniversary of Russia's Bolshevik Revolution. The ship was not designed to safely return to Earth. The team secretly expected Laika to die painlessly of oxygen deprivation after a week in space, but several conflicting reports to the public insinuated that she was still alive as of November 12th and would be humanely euthanized with poisoned food, and the New York Times had even reported that she might survive the trip altogether. Later, it was revealed that Laika likely died a few days or even mere hours into the trip from stress and overheating as a result of a failure in the heat shield early into orbit. The spacecraft had reached over 90 degrees by the 4th orbit. Sputnik 2's systems died alongside its batteries on November 10th, but continued orbit until April 14th of 1958 after 162 days in space when it re-entered Earth's atmosphere and was destroyed. Doctor and space dog trainer Oleg Gazenko later expressed his remorse for Laika, saying, "The more time passes, the more I'm sorry about it. We did not learn enough from this mission to justify the death of the dog." Russia recognizes Laika as an honored fallen cosmonaut, and in 2015 they unveiled a memorial for her in Moscow. Laika lives on all over the world through films such as My Life as a Dog, the stop-motion animation studio named after her, musical works such as the Gorillaz album Laika Come Home, music artists such as the Finnish band Laika and the Cosmonauts, and through children's books such as Laika, Astronaut Dog, in which she survives and is rescued by new owners on some faraway planet and lives happily ever after. A little stray was picked off the streets of Moscow and sent on a one-way trip to space, and in her death proved that space could be livable.